So the big question is this: how do you juggle love and ambition? Today, I talk about dating through career shifts and entrepreneurship. My name is Nwosu, and welcome to the Second Chances Podcast, a love journey in black and white. Recently, I've been speaking to a lot of women who have either been promoted to high positions at work or have chosen to start a new business. And now, most of them are struggling to balance that and staying in the dating game. And they keep saying they're considering taking a break from dating. In one word, what I will say is, no, you don't have to take a break. Let's get into it. So how do you find the equilibrium between your professional ambition and your quest for a romantic connection? Embarking on a new career path or launching your own business, yes, is an exhilarating journey. It's one filled with ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster ride, but it is one that also requires a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, a lot of your focus, and dare I say, a lot of emotional resiliency. It's not an easy path to follow. So this takes a lot away from your ability to be 100% invested in your dating game. I know that for me, like this year, for instance, I've started a couple of new businesses and gone on a different direction in different areas of my business as well. And I know how that impacted my relationship and how it wasn't a problem per se, because I've learned how to navigate it and deal with it, but it doesn't make it any easier. So I can understand where I hear from a lot of women that it's just too much and they really can't balance or manage the two. So let's talk about time, for instance. So time, or in this instance, the lack thereof, because now you're juggling so many things when you're starting on a new role at work or you're delving into a new business venture. It means you're spending hours. It's no longer just 9 to 5 hours you're spending a day. You're probably putting in more time to understand the new role and learning or researching, or you're launching a business where you're working 7 days a week practically because you're trying to launch this thing and make it successful. And so from a perspective of time, it might be challenging to invest time into dating or getting to build a new relationships when you're dating. So time is something that is very, very key, but it doesn't mean that you still can't date. The key here is to make sure that you're able to set the right expectations and communicate it to the person that you're talking with. So for instance, if you're dating or you're in the swiping stage or you're looking to date, be upfront about your time constraints and some of the commitments that you have with the new business or a new job. It is crucial that you set those expectations early on so that the person knows what they're getting into and can decide whether it's something that they want to pursue or if it's a deal breaker for them. So manage the expectations, be honest about what it is that you can do and what you can do, and show up when you can on the dates. When you show up on the dates, please don't bring your work and your business struggles to the date. It's bad enough that you don't have time, but again, you don't want to spend your dates talking about work and your business. Another thing that really impacts the dating or relationships during this phase in your life is stress. Ooh, I know, like I had a meltdown last week, so I am too familiar of what stress can do to you. And this can often spill over into your dating life as well. The pressures of a new career or entrepreneurship are real, and they can affect your emotional stability and the energy, how you show up to a date. So my recommendation would be, make sure that when you're going on dates, you're not looking for dates that are going to stress you out, activities that are going to stress you out. So make sure that you're choosing dates that are a bit more lighter, maybe dates that can make you laugh or bring out the lighter, more playful side of you, so that you're reducing stress, but you're also being an enjoyable date as well. Another thing that could come up is the financial stability or instability, depending on where you are in this, in starting a new career or starting a new business. So where you're investing so much into a business and cash is tight, then again, maybe just choose dates that are not so expensive, so you're not stressed out about how much is being spent on this date, or having to cancel plans because it's too expensive, or you just are not feeling spending a huge amount of money on a date. If the man is paying for the date, then that's fine. But if it's a 50-50 split in the bill, or maybe it's a trip that you both want to take and you have to pay your own way, maybe choose dates or activities that are more low budget, so that you don't feel the financial strain, and then you're not a very great date because now you're stressed out about work. So make sure that you're choosing low stress financial ways to be able to still connect with potential partners and just show up in a beautiful, calm, and feminine way. But I know I'm talking about the negative sides about starting a business or a new career, but there's a positive side too. These career transitions could actually make you more attractive to certain kind of men. Some men love the ambition, the drive, the courage to pursue your dreams, because these might be qualities that they seek out in a woman and they find it extremely appealing. So yes, these things, even though it comes with a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of time, it might be a unique selling point for you, where he might be interested in what it is you're doing, what you're building. And that could even spur on many, many conversations, especially if it's an area that he's also into. But the key is about striking the balance and making sure that you're still managing your masculine versus your feminine energy. So even if you're going to talk about work or this new business venture that is exciting, make sure you are still doing it from a feminine point of view, or feminine energy perspective, so that you're not pushing him away with your outright overly overwhelming masculine energy. So just be wary of that and try to maintain a balance. So some of the things that you can do if you're going through this is prioritize your time and plan it wisely. You don't have to give up dating completely. Just plan your schedule. Set aside a dedicated time for dating. It could be an hour a week, an hour every 2 weeks, whatever it is. Make sure that you plan out the time and stick to it. Commit to this time that you've set aside for dating. If finding a soulmate or a partner is a priority for you in your life, then you have to make it a priority. You have to not just wing it, but you have to put processes in place or systems in place in your life so that you're making room for this to happen as well. You don't have to put it on the back burner and just forget about it till further notice. Sure, if you're overwhelmed or you're stressed out or you feel like you're not a fun date at this point, you can take a little time off so that you're not too overwhelmed by it all. But you don't have to abandon it completely, because it's always more difficult to come back into the dating pool and starting all over again and trying to remember how to date and to communicate. And the way technology and life is moving, you might find yourself having to learn new ways and new nuances of what the dating world is like now. So yes, navigating the world of dating while still navigating your major career elevation or your new business is difficult, but it is possible. Find the right balance. Be honest about what your limitation and constraints are, what you can realistically do within the space of dating, and just embrace it. Embrace the journey with an open heart, with all its ups and downs. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be perfect, but you don't have to give up one for the other. I know that the easiest way will be to say, I can't be bothered. I have to choose, and I choose my career right now. But what would that mean you giving up on? Are you willing to give up on love for a long time? And you know what they say, when you're in love, you're even more productive. So I'll just leave you with that bit. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode on the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. Till next time, sending you love and light.